Okay, so now we're delighted to be able to spotlight one of the executives at one of our great clients, Delta Dental. I'd like to introduce to you Alisha Hightower. Alisha is the Executive Director of the Medi-Cal Dental program with Delta Dental. She has over 10 years of experience in dental government programs. She served as the Chief of Dental Managed Care for the Department of Health Care Services. She was instrumental in the transition of the Dental Healthy Families program to Medicaid, the new dental plan contracting, for procurement, process improvement, improved transparency, and all of those good things. Alisha holds a degree in criminal justice and economics from California State University of Sacramento. Alisha's actually going to talk to us about her personal journey in her career and the 6 lessons she learned. And so, Alisha, over to you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Let's see. All right. Hopefully folks can see that.
Oh, we can see your screen. Yep, excellent.
Okay, great. Like they said, I'm going to take just 10 minutes of your quick time to talk about just some lessons that I've learned along the way. My name is Alisha Hightower. I'm the Executive Director of the Medi-Cal Dental program with Delta Dental. I'm going to give you just a little bit about me. So I have 2 degrees. I think they already covered this, from Sacramento State in criminal justice and economics. I had high hopes of becoming an attorney. That did not happen, I think, thankfully. I ended up starting my career at the Department of Health Care Services in dental Medicaid as an analyst. I was incredibly fortunate to have some leaders who believed in me and was able to promote fairly quickly, which was only because of their leadership. I was recruited into Premier Access and Access Dental Plan in California to bring up their health exchange program and then later oversee the Medicaid program that they had. They were later acquired by Guardian Life Insurance Company. For them, I ran compliance for all of their government programs. And then I took a short detour from dental and government programs into WellFit, which is a technology company. I really wanted to make a change for family. And that was short-lived, as technology was not my forte and I needed to go back to insurance and government programs. And so that's where I'm at today with Delta Dental. And I'm really incredibly thankful for the opportunity. I have been there for a short 6 weeks, so I am on my 6th week. I've had a tremendous 6-week, implementation into their family and their culture. It's been amazing. You can see below, this is my actual life, right? So we have a work life and then we have an actual life. I'm a wife and a mother. My husband is Marcus. He works for CAL FIRE as a firefighter. We have a 5-month-old son, Maddox. So I actually came off of maternity leave and put him into daycare and started Delta Dental on the same day. So it has been a whirlwind of 6 weeks. We have 2 French bulldogs. I think everybody has a French bulldog these days, Odin and Mia. And they really, before Maddox, they kept me incredibly busy, obviously, with my husband being in fire and California having historic fire years has been gone a lot. So I was able to really spend some good time with my dogs. So that's a little bit about me. I just want to take a quick moment to kind of run through just some lessons that I've learned over time. Probably nothing that anybody hasn't heard themselves, but just maybe a quick refresher and reminder of things that you should pay attention to. So the first one is be authentic. I think that in a world full of, social media and pictures and things, we can get very wrapped up into wanting to conform or look like someone else. I think as a leader, we are always looking for authenticity and unique folks to come into an organization. It's what makes organizations strong. Is bringing that depth of personality and differences together. I think as women, sometimes we conform because we are people pleasers by nature. And so this is just a reminder that your authentic self is what's best, and to always put that foot forward. It also leads itself into trust. So there's a lot of different studies out there, but one of them is around this trust triangle. And one of the pillars is authenticity. And if you are to gain trust from those around you, whether that's work or outside, you really have to be authentic and be your true self. There's a great TED Talk out there from Frances Fry. She talks about how to build and rebuild trust. It's quick, it's not super long, but it's definitely worth a listen. And really the pillars of trust are authenticity, credibility, and empathy. But it's just incredibly important that you show up as yourself. The second one is kind of along the same lines, and that's assessing your impact or yourself. So I did a women's leadership program a couple of years ago, and they had a whole session around assessing your impact and who you are and how you're showing up, and doing a brand audit. And I thought that was so interesting because we don't think of ourselves as brands. We think of ourselves as just people that go to work, right? I go to work and Alisha does this and Alisha does that, but I'm building a brand. So people are gleaning from the conversations I have, the work product that I bring forward. Everything that I do in a work setting is building my brand. And so it's important that we take a step back sometimes and look at that brand and determine, is that what we want to be putting forward? Are my actions meeting what I think people think that they want from me? What's unique about what I think? What gives me a distinction as a leader? What impacts do others expect from me? What solutions do I deliver, et cetera? It's all so incredibly important to take a step back. I am a habitual interrupter. I cannot keep it inside. So it's something that I know about myself. And so I assess after each meeting how much I interrupted, how I need to be more thoughtful about taking a pause. It's something that I work on every single day, every single meeting, and I assess because it's so important that I don't want a part of my brand to be that I interrupt people. It's a horrible, horrible thing. And so I just think it's important that we all take a step back and think about how you're showing up. It also lends to your credibility. I think there's Albert Mehrabian has a study that talks about how credibility is determined. And it's very interesting because words are the least important when it comes to establishing your credibility, which is strange, right? Because you would think that what I say and what I do should be the most important, but it's not. It's the tone in which you give the information, and nonverbal cues are obviously the highest. And we're in a virtual setting these days, so nonverbal cues are really, really difficult. Most of the time you're just seeing this, you're not seeing everything. And so it's difficult to glean. It's also difficult because maybe you're not using video that day. So if you think about 55% of the way that you show up, not being there, available for people to make an assessment of how you're giving information, it's just very, very important that you're just mindful of all of those things as you show up in meetings and conversations and in virtual settings. The next one is probably my favorite, and this is don't do it alone. I am not here today without the assistance of two people who took it upon themselves to really give me opportunities when my position didn't warrant them. I obviously worked extremely hard and was building trust and credibility, but ultimately two people shepherded me along in my career and really took a chance on me. So when I was at the state, my boss at the time, John Chin, did not want to be the face of dental. And so he allowed me to step forward as that face. And what that allowed me to do was, as an analyst, I got to work with the deputy director. I got to work with legislature, the governor's office. So it really put me in positions where I could build my brand and make a reputation for myself. And it also lended itself to being recruited to another company. And that person is the second person who shepherded my career, because early on, she really explained to me how being emotionally intelligent was so incredibly important. I am more fact-driven and rational-driven than emotional-driven, and that has not done me well. I think that, you know, anytime I look back on my career, the impacts that I've made have been mostly around emotional intelligence, making those connections with people, really bringing them along on your journey. So don't do it alone. For me, it's twofold. I'm extremely thankful for the people that have brought me along. So really make sure you're building your advocacy group, your stakeholders, but also as I transition into this new leadership position, I'm now looking for folks that I want to shepherd along, that I can identify that maybe don't have a current position that would allow them to sit at a larger table, but it's up to us as leaders to find those people and to bring them up and to give them opportunities. And so that's something that I'm focused on today. And the last one is, I am a recovering perfectionist. I grew up in a perfectionist household. It is not healthy or happy to be a perfectionist. So excellence over perfection. And the biggest thing I would say about this is perfection doesn't allow for learning. There is no failure and there is no learning involved. It's strictly whether you did something perfect or not, and it's not a great place to be. So if you're looking at everything you do, obviously inside of your work life, but also on your outside life, as you're striving for excellence, it allows for failure. It allows for reflection, and to kind of restructure how you think about things. So these four are kind of the four that I live and die by. There are two others, but for the purpose of time, I figured I would slim it down. So be authentic, pursue excellence, not perfection, know your impact, really review your impact, and don't do it alone, bring someone with you. Wow. And then I'm just gonna leave you with these 4 books. These are 4 books that I find were incredibly helpful in my leadership journey, and I'm gonna leave them with you.
Wow.
Thank you for your time.
Fantastic, Alisha. Very, very powerful. There's a lot of comments in the comment window here. If we can get a copy of your charts, that would be excellent.
Yeah, I agree.
I think a lot of folks are really aligning with what you're saying. And it's interesting, I think there's an intersection between those 6 virtues from David and Kirst's panels, right, and what you're saying, Alisha. So, wow, that's really important things for us to think about. And I love, you're very authentic.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for that.
Thank you.
I think that really, you know, to mentor somebody, which is what Alicia's suggesting, is really to helps you grow as much as the person you're mentoring. I think that's why it's such an important thing to do.
It is. Thank you so much, Alisha. I hope you can stay on for the rest of the.
Thank you all. I definitely will.
Great. Thank you so much. That was very powerful. Love it.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'd love to share what you've learned in your journey with others in our associate group. So that's great.